But Saturday morning, this is a continuation of Matthew, and it's exactly the same thing. He said, no disciples above his teacher. Christ had his brains knocked out. Okay, and he got tortured, he got crucified. And that's opening line. And you got to remember, Matthew writes this thing long after Christ has been crucified. So, no disciples above his teacher, no slave above his master. It is enough for the disciple that he become like his teacher, for the slave that he becomes like his master. If they called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more those of his household? That's what, in their own figurative manner, but that's what the communists, they saw. They saw the Christian leadership as demonic, as destructive. Right? Not justifying them, I'm just describing them. See? Therefore, don't be afraid of them. That's what he says. Nothing is concealed that will not be revealed, nor secret that will not be known. Boy, is that true of history, too. When you think of the 20th century, the exposition of the horrors of the 20th century, it's undeniable. The monsters of the 20th century, Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, Mao. One of the popes, Benedict XVI, called the 20th century the century of horror. It had faces and names. It was not a philosophical abstraction. And those secrets are still coming out more and more. I watch the History Channel, or whatever they call it. They call it the American Heroes Channel, AAH, whatever they call it. Whenever it does the Second World War or the conditions that led up to it, I watch it closely. Because we are products of that war and its horror. That's the truth. And the secrets of that time become more and more revealed as we understand not only the horrors of the leadership, but the horrors of the hearts of the people. See, what troubles me so deeply is how could so much of this have occurred without the consent, indirect consent of the people governed. And that's not a condemnation of the Germans or the Japanese or the Italians. It's a stark warning that we are all capable of betrayal. There is a Judas in all of us that we can betray each other. It's a stark warning, I have to say that. Yeah. So though he says, therefore, do not be afraid of them, nor nothing is concealed that will not be revealed, nor secret that will not be known. When I say to you in darkness, speak to the light. I just did that. What you hear whispered, proclaim to the housetops. That we have the capacity of monstrosity. We all do. You know, when I think about that, Hitler was once a pretty little boy, a little child in the equivalence of kindergarten. Who would think that he was accountable for the death of 8 to 10 million people, if not more? If you take the whole Second World War, 80 million people. What about Mussolini or Stalin? Were they born monsters? They were innocent at one time. See? It's a stark warning, that's all. Just a stark warning. Yeah. What happens when the soul gets perverted? When the human heart is violated? We're all capable of monstrosity, but we're also capable of heroism. The 20th century is also the time of heroes. When I think of the men and women who fought in the war, who fought in horrific battles, or endured such hardship, and persevered in the care of each other. I think even my own family in Italy, how they persevered. You know, thinking of my aunts and uncles, how they persevered throughout the horror of war. And war was all around them. The monsters are there, but the heroes are there as well. The heroes were there as well. It was an age of martyrs as well as monsters. That is the truth. That is the truth. Maybe not celebratory heroes, but quiet heroes. People who sustained their families, who sustained their moral character amidst all the horror. You know? I don't know why I'm so fixed on that today, but I am. I'm just thinking about it a lot. I think I worry about tomorrow, the future, insofar as I think we are choosing, our children are choosing what kind of a world they want to live in and the values they will espouse. And I hope to God they will embrace the church and her wisdom and her grace and embrace the profound humanism that's rooted in Christianity and lead to a Christianized humanistic world, a Christian humanistic world, a world of profound human dignity and value rather than power and wealth as such. I hope so. If they've got to learn anything, study the 20th century and commit yourself never to repeat it, the first half of it. That's the truth. Learn history so you don't repeat it. And know the signs of depravity, and not be taken in by it. That's the truth. We have always a chance, and every generation has a chance to create a new tomorrow in the light of the past. That's the truth. And I am optimistic, I have to say. I teach these kids. I'm looking into their faces every day when I go to class. How could you not believe in tomorrow when you see this beautiful young man or woman at 20 years old who's full of hope and trust in tomorrow? Or why would they be going to a university? Not just to make a buck, it's to make a future. If you were in my shoes and you were teaching with me, unless you're as hard-hearted as you can get, how could you not believe in tomorrow? How could you not believe in the possibility of human redemption? Social and human individual redemption. How could you not? These kids are beautiful. They're so special. I mean that. It's like the kids playing in the playground. They're the promise of tomorrow. I get them at 19 to 21 years old, 18 to 21, 22. And I love those kids. I love being with them. And I want to make a difference in their lives by helping them believe in themselves. And I always tell them over and over, believe in yourself, believe in tomorrow. And one kid, some of them said to me, it's hard to believe in that. It's hard to believe in tomorrow. I says, you got to, if you don't know and will. Don't let the past condemn you. Don't let the past condemn you. Christ doesn't call us to yesterday. He calls us to tomorrow. We draw upon the wisdom of the past in order to forge the tomorrow's tomorrow. So we look back for wisdom, to draw from it in order to be wise in how we shape our destinies. So we teach history and philosophy and theology. We teach the great humanistic studies. We teach English. We teach language. We teach literature, the great imaginative aspect of human experience, with the hope of creating a more human future. See? Why is religion so important? Because it is the great humanizer. Christ calls us to a profound humanity, a divine humanity, his own. See? And to believe in that, and to believe in tomorrow, and not the condemnation of the past. We are not condemned by yesterday. We're not condemned because we are living today in the light of and in the hope of tomorrow. And it's that hope in tomorrow. That's the Holy Spirit. Is the promise of tomorrow. The promise of God is the Holy Spirit, the promise of tomorrow. And its fertility and its power and its beauty. Its chance we can make a difference. That's what I tell my kids in class. Make a difference. You have it within you. Make a difference. See? Because you can. Your future lies within you. Don't be afraid of tomorrow. Believe in it. Make it happen in your immediate lives with your loved ones, but also in your careers and the choices that you make. You can make a difference. Make it.